This is Robert Forsch with the Truth Channel, and I'm here on the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier, a south-facing pier, and I'm going to shoot right over the top of James there. James is a Bible believer too, and there's the 99% moon right now, apparently. And I'll bring up the numbers in just a little bit so you can see those. The numbers of the tide and the sun and the moon appearing. This is the Tides Near Me app. I use it pretty regularly, and I've seen it to be very reliable here. So we're 28 minutes from sunset. There we go. And let's see when the moon sets tomorrow. All right. 5:36 a.m. So tomorrow night you can look at, that's the 4th of July, where we're looking at the times there. Check that out if you like. Now keep in mind, bear in mind that that's for this area, this location. The sun, moon, and stars are a celestial timepiece. God created it that way. That's the deal. There would be no level anywhere if we were spinning, wobbling, and gyrating. Keep in mind the official NASA story is that we're rotating in the direction of the moon, apparently at over 1,038 miles an hour, but that's not even possible. The supposed movement of the Earth has never, ever been proven. So, I've got video of the moon coming up right out of the ocean over there, or out over Wadey's Island there. Today, the sun came up over here, and obviously it's setting over there. Wow, that's interesting. In the winter, the sun comes up way over there. Further away is lower on the horizon. They kind of trade places to a certain extent. The moon is further away now, so it's not cooling us off as much. The moon gives off a cool light. It's a different light spectrum, and the light of the moon is cooler than the shade of the moon. You can test it out if you like. In Joshua 10, God stopped the sun and the moon from moving. You can read that if you care to. It's a little hard to focus on with so much moisture in the air. There's more moisture lower on the horizon, especially over the ocean like this. And what you can do if you care to is take note where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon from your location, clearly indicating that they're moving a different path. So to be clear, I'm gonna show you something here. Obviously the sun is setting there, and it came up over there, and it moved like this. Okay, there we go. Now in the winter, it comes up over there and does that over there, way over there. Now today we've got the moon that came up right over here and is doing this, and it'll set somewhere over there tomorrow, apparently. I'll try and get out here to get it, or I may catch it from our house. I'm not exactly sure. One of the reasons for that is that because of atmospheric moisture, fog or humidity, I may not be able to get a good view of the moon set at this location. But what I may do is come out earlier just to show you where it is. If it's higher in the sky like this, I may be able to show it where it's setting or close to where it's going to vanish from this perspective. So tomorrow, just a refresher, the moon will set at 6:34 a.m. and the sun will rise or appear at 6:10 a.m. Now, I've nailed this many times. Just because I've shown it doesn't mean a lot of people know about it. So the short version is where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon, and their duration of visibility clearly indicates that they are moving and the earth is not. The earth is fixed, stationary, doesn't move. Genesis 1 talks about, God's word talks about the firmament, the structure separating the waters from above from these waters below. Not just a little bit of vapor. In the flood that Noah prepared for and built the ark, there is the waters of the fountains of the deep opened up, the floodgates of heaven opened up, and then God caused it to rain as well. How about that? That's how it went down. You can't flood a ball, but you can overfill a container. So just a little bit of elevation stops the water from coming in. I've got quite a few hours of video showing the beach renourishment process with bulldozers and ships nearby. A lot of heavy equipment. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. And so one of the things that I showed was the fact that the heavy equipment, I rotated the camera and showed upside down bulldozers and water apparently flowing upside down. I called it a meme, a video meme. I did a video today, a live stream called microdosing. And it's a lot of people, much of humanity is microdosing on reality. They've got a heavy concentration of fantasy, basing lifetime eternal decisions on information that's wrong, it's false, not true, it's not reality. So the space that NASA, SpaceX, and that whole program is concerned with the space between your ears, your imagination, giving you a false reality. We're all eternal. I'm an eternal being that is having a temporary human experience. Now there's other than human beings around us. Some are possessed by demons, some are indwelt by God, like me. God's word says that the names of all God's children, all his children, were put in the Lamb's Book of Life before the foundation of the world, well before I messed up and asked for help. So the short version is, I thought I was born again until I actually was. Even though I did a bunch of ministry activity, it doesn't mean I got the upgrade. So there's a transpocalypse going on that involves transgendering and transhumanism, integrating technology and our physiology. And the weather modification program that's operating is creating storms, droughts, floods. One of the challenges for people to consider is that God is sovereign and He knows the end from the beginning. There's a lot of gods. The God that most people worship, as far as I can tell, is the one they see in the mirror. They do their own thing. Aleister Crowley talked about it, do what thou wilt, let that be the whole of the law. I have a different God, the God who created this world. He gave me new life in Him. So now I have a passion, purpose, an eternal perspective, and the power to do what I previously couldn't do, and the pleasure to enjoy it all. Put the chairs out there so people can, well, it's a good place for me to sit down and take a nap. I'll probably need one soon. It's a pretty busy weekend, 4th of July weekend. And I wanted to document while I could where the sun and the moon are rising and setting here this weekend. And there is mystery with history. Those that win the battles write the books explaining what they want people to believe happened. So there's a grand illusion. We're living in a computer-programmed reality, as best I can tell. I'm going to zoom in on the Myrtle Beach skyline as far as I can down this way. Water temperature, I should say temperature changes water density and volume. So how much does a gallon of water weigh? And it's about 8 pounds depending on the temperature. So typically the temperature, I put my water in my gallon jug this time of the year. When it warms up, it expands, flows over the top, cools off. About an ounce goes out over the top of the jug. Then it leaves a vacuum in the space. I'll put the top on tight and the water just pushes on out. There's a vacuum strong enough that I typically have to use a towel to get it off. My bare hand can't too well. Need more traction on it. If you hashtag my name in a Google search, you should find the photo album that shows many different phases of the moon, many different times of the year. So just to recap, the moon came up over here and is going to stay really low on the sky and set somewhere over there. Today, obviously, the sun is setting right there, even though it came up right over there from this vantage point. Interesting, isn't it? Two different movements, obvious. It's not one particular supposed rotation. It's very unpopular. Just really pisses people off to say their whole moon landing was a hoax. Oh well, that's what I found. The moon landing is a hoax. The space station is an imagination station. It's a movie set. Swimming pool. Houston, we've got a problem. We've got bubbles in space. Oh really? Yeah, we do. Bubbles in the video, bubbles in your brain, bubbles in, you know, when I see them, I'm looking at the satellite, supposed satellites like Arthur C. Clarke and the way they've got a paparazzi satellite following them. Yeah, right. I'm not buying it. Not buying it. They're lying, and I ain't buying. I'll say it over and over and over. I wanted to show you from right here, you can see the, probably better from this vantage point. That's the last little bit I'm going to get from here tonight. So the way it works is the sun is moving away. So think about it. If we were spinning, how can the sun come up over there and do this, and the moon come up over there and do this? How's that possible? Two different movements, meaning that conclusively that the celestial bodies are moving above the stationary and level Earth. So, you're looking at the largest level in the world. It's called sea level. Can you see it? There it is. There's no curve on the horizon. Apparently, according to the official experts, there's supposed to be a curve there. Can you see it? No curve. The other thing is the Mississippi River is 2,350 miles long, which would mean that there would have to be a hump in the middle of the country 337 miles tall that the Mississippi River ignores. The Nile ignores the supposed curvature as well because there is none. There's elevation above and below sea level. Apparently Mount Everest is about 5.5 miles above sea level. Sea level. So I don't know exactly what the width of that view is at this elevation above the horizon. What I've done is discovered enough to know conclusively that they're lying, and I ain't buying. Not buying it. About 40 million people heard me say that. They're lying, I ain't buying it. Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? Imagine people sitting on a toilet upside down in relationship to the people here. That's not even possible. Kind of funny to think about, but it's not happening. Crane operators operating, lifting something that's upside down in relationship to something here. None of that's happening. It's all it's a fantasy. It's not real. So what is real and how do you define real? I would say what is real is what is true. Truth and reality are interchangeable. So like for example, we've got a group of college, maybe high school age, and all ages, many different ages on the beach. With the pandemic we've got with the worldwide lockdown, the United States is probably having a tougher time of it. They were police seen chasing people off the beach. I've got a friend who operates Cocopelli Surf Camp, and he was in Costa Rica while they were videoing shots being fired at surfers to get them out of the water. The police were doing that. Evidently they didn't want people surfing or running on the beach. There's healthy benefits for being outside in the sunshine, getting fresh air, especially the ionized air that has the salt mist in it. Actually provides some natural medicinal benefits. So does healthy nutrition. So what I do is bathe in highly purified, carbon filtered, solar activated drinking water, reverse osmosis, and I'll add a quarter cup of borax, baking soda, and magnesium sulfate. Healthy electrolytes that add electrical properties to the biological unit that I'm living in. I have everybody, you know, as far as I know, most of the people around here are an eternal being having a temporary human experience. I'm a soul that has a body. As far as I can tell, that's the way it is for most folks. This is a very family-oriented beach. It's awesome to see. It's wonderful to see families enjoying the beauty and majesty of creation. I see young ones learning how to walk on the beach, going to the beach for their first time ever. I've got video of people being on the beach for the first time and they're like over 90 years old. Pretty amazing. A lot of rescue dogs here. Some of them were abused and they've been taken in and given a new lease on life. Got a friend who said his dog that he rescued saved him from a life of alcoholism. A lot of life stories here. People reflect off of the beach, off the wet sand, off the water. They reflect on their lives, past, present, future. Hopes, fears, dread. A lot of suicide because of the hopelessness that people encounter with this whole lockdown and worldwide economic collapse. So what I did is put the different videos on my channel that talk more about this. And the maximum size of a playlist apparently is 5,000. It used to be when I liked a video, it was shared tens of millions of times because of my relentless persistence. That really pisses a lot of people off. Good, good. Other people like it. So rather than try to please myself or please an individual, my desire is to do what I'm created to do because God gave me that desire. How about that? He reserves a place in the life of his children that only he can satisfy. And at some point in the human experience, Shazam, it happens. He found me. He found me drugged and stupefied, and I didn't want to live anymore. But hey, I thought I was born again over 30 years earlier. The problem with that is I wasn't. So he took up residence in me, gave me a love for the truth, even though it's really unpopular. The truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular and it's not an opinion. It's simply the reality. So is it true? Whatever it is that you believe or want to know about. So this is the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's a location where the largest tiger shark was caught in the early 60s. We don't allow shark fishing from the pier here anymore. We don't want to bring in the shark for the swimmers and surfers. I have a video yesterday that I featured that shows some 5-foot or so black tip shark. A lot of sand shark around here. They're not really much of a problem. A bull shark can cause a lot of damage, kill people. It's I believe that's one of the most commonly, well, a lot of people die from it. There was a bull shark apparently that went up the Mississippi River and killed a lot of people that had no clue a shark could come up that far. Just an example of how much more we can see a boat at a distance with lights on it. There we go. It's hard to focus on them. So I want to thank you all for your public and private encouragement. One of the reasons why I make my contact information public is so that you can search it, see what I'm about, see what I'm up to. I got nothing to hide. I'm wanting to expose the reality of the world we live in to the ends of the earth around the clock, so people can make an informed choice on their eternity, on your eternity. Where will you spend it and why? So right up on top of the Prince Resort is one camera, and there's others located around. You can activate and see different live video feeds. We've got lightning rods on the tops of these buildings, pretty obvious to see them. There's a static discharge we know as lightning. There's electricity all around us, and I'm convinced that it's usable. More than solar panels taking energy from the sun and utilizing it. When I'm out in the sun a lot throughout a day, I don't get as hungry, I've got plenty of energy. I liquefy a lot of fruits, vegetables that are rich in nutrients and help my body to assimilate the energy from the sun. The other thing is the healthy electrolytes I mentioned, as in borax and baking soda. Those two are antifungal. They'll kill jock itch, candida, toenail, fingernail fungus, that type of thing. We've got healthy nutrients that help our bodies to operate better. A lot of people that are overweight it's the body response to being malnourished. It's not that they don't have enough calories, it's just the wrong kind and lacking in appropriate nutrients to help cognitive function. So there's no pill or potion that's going to fix nutrient deficiency. Nutrients take care of that. So there you go. No shark fishing. Leave your lucky ham at home. So this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Please explore the content on my channel. I believe you'll be surprised. Contact me anytime you like. Thank you so much.